Let's revisit the Unchained Fire Chicken build. What's going on, fellow trailhards? It's Tom with Tryhard Gaming, bringing you back a brand new video and a brand new deck profile. So I don't have the actual hard copy cards with me today, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this on DB. So one of the main things that I've been testing with and that I've done in the past is one of the older videos that I've done here probably in the past month or two is Fire King Unchained. So before the ban list hit, I was running 3 Sharvara at the time, and this is before the Sharvara ban, so a couple things have changed since then. Now let's go ahead and get into that. So first thing I want to go over is the actual Fire King build that we have, or the Fire King engine that we have in the deck. Of course we have your 3 Kieran. I mentioned this before, this card is probably one of, if not the best Fire King name in the deck. Garunix is really good, but it can't do a whole lot unless something is popped and it's in your graveyard or it's in your hand. Kieran is just a quick effect during the main phase to just pop a card special, so, or pop a fire monster specifically, in hand or on field. So, and then when he is popped, he can special summon 1 Fire King monster from your graveyard. So he and non-target pop a card. So it's really good card. So, and of course, we can't have Fire Kings without the big fire chicken himself, Garunix. Garunix is again probably one of the best, one of the best big boss monsters of the deck. A lot of these cards, if you have Skyburn, which is why I run it, is able to facilitate an OTK during your battle phase to be able to pop something and then just be able to bring it back. Really good, really important. So, and then Garunix again. So for those who don't know, if a card that was popped that was originally a fire attribute is popped, he can special himself from hand or from graveyard, and then on summon he's able to pop a fire monster from hand, deck, or field. So really important to keep that in mind. But he can't pop anything in terms of unchained monsters whenever he's summoned, because it has to be a beast warrior, or a winged beast. So what people call tri-beast. So it has to do that. And then we have your baby fire chicken, which is your little Ponix. Ponix is probably one of the coolest cards in the deck. This deck really started singing after it got this card. Is really awesome. So I've seen some people like Pack run this card at 1 in certain hybrid builds again, but his build was the Rescue Ace Fire King build, totally different from what we're doing today. I think we're going to need as many chances to get to this card or to Sanctuary as possible. I don't run 3, so I just cut it down for consistency's sake on both engines' part. So we run 3 Arvada, which again is one of those cards where if it is popped, you're going to be able to special summon a Fire King, or one Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast from your graveyard, and bring it back, but destroy it during the end phase. So really good to have as well. And then of course your Barong, which is your Fire King Searcher during your opponent's standby phase after you pop it with your big fire chicken, Garunix. And I guess on to the spells. So the spells that we have for the Fire King engine is the 2 Sanctuary. I don't run 3, again, I don't like to see multiples of this card in my hand. I'd prefer to search it off Ponix, or to be able to add Ponix and then search it. It's just a little bit easier to do that way. 1 Fire King Island. You can do 2/2, make it a 43 card build. I don't see why you would want to do that. In this case specifically. But my usual ratio is 2/2 for my regular Fire King build, because that's what I like. But I've seen a few OCG builds test around with 2/1, so we're going to try that today. And then your 1 Skyburn. This card, the more and more I play with it, the more and more it blows me away. So this card is able to just pop Fire King cards you control, and then pop cards your opponent controls. Great removal, very much so needed. Just really good. And then we get to our Unchained engine. So again, as most of you know, Sharvara is now at 1 as of January 1st. So this is going to be really difficult to kind of play around, but I think it's very possible to get through and to be able to do what you need to do in terms of getting your level 6s on the field to get into your Wave High King. I know that's going to be the main thing you're going to try to do, is to get into your Wave High King. But there's going to be a couple ways where if you can't get into that, you're still going to be able to end on Soul Rage and maybe some of your Fire King engine as well. So next card we have is your one Shyama. A lot of people like to run these multiples of Shyama or multiples of your brick, like Solar Disaster. I don't see why. I just can't play the deck with that. And even if I was running the deck pure, it would be a sideboard option. But I know now that it's kind of important where there's only one Sharvara. But I don't really care too much for having that, having those cards in there, multiples of the bricks, the considered bricks in the deck, because I don't like having those in hand. If I was going to be playing something like that. We still have the 2 Arua. We kept the 2 Arua as we did in the previous list. We have the 1 Rakea, the 1 Abominable Unchained Soul, and the 1 Sarama. So that's pretty much the same as last time. What has changed is instead of going 3-1, I went 2-1 and cut one of the traps, because we kind of want to compact this engine a little bit more, just for the consistency's sake again. And we have added the DDD package to be able to pop something as well, so really good to have. It's a consistency card, Pot of Prosperity. It's just something a lot of people like to run. I enjoy running it. It's a really good card. 3 Ash, 3 Nibiru, and 3 Droll. 3 Droll because it just seems like it's one of the best cards to be running right now. Droll is just really, really strong right now, especially with everybody searching and having all these new search cards coming out. Droll is going to be extremely important to have. And then you have your DDD package, which is the 1 Vice King Requiem to get into your Deus Machinax, and then to be able to pop and then bring out another card to bring out another Unchained monster, and then go ahead and go into a Yama. So as for the side deck, these, again, this is very much so subject to change depending on what the format is going to pan out to be like, but for your sake, these are the cards that I believe are going to be very impactful here soon. So and you could probably throw Panker Tops or something as well into the mix, but these are the cards that I think are going to be really important to side on several different decks that are going to be coming up in the format and the mirror match. So we have your 3 Druid Worm, really good against your Labyrinth matchup to be able to banish the furniture and to be able to tear up a lot of the graveyard stuff that they're trying to do. DD Crow generically hits anything in the graveyard. Excuse me. And then your 3 Ghost Bell that's going to be able to prevent the stuff from going on during the mirror match. You're just going to be able to stop Grunix from special summoning itself. You're going to be able to stop Kieran Effect. You're going to be able to stop a whole lot of things with this one card. And I think this is going to be a very important card coming up. And then you have your 6 back row removal, being 3 Cosmic Cyclone, 2 Lightning Storm, and a Duster. So these cards are really important. Cosmic Cyclone against the mirror match is insane to be able to pop, to be able to get rid of your opponent's Fire King Island. Because once you get rid of that island, then it triggers, and the Sanctuary cannot save it from a Cosmic Cyclone. It can save it from a Lightning Storm and a Duster, but those are mainly for your Labyrinth matchups, because you do not want to go into a set 5 pass situation and be able to then just go ahead and go, okay, nothing in draw, nothing in standby, and you just go, okay, I'm going to go Lightning Storm right off the rip and call back row. So if they don't have anything for that, you're doing pretty well. So on to the extra deck. So the extra deck, as of right now, we have a very small Unchained package, which we have the 1 Yama, the 1 Soul of Rage, the 1 Anguish, and the 1 A-Bomb. All of these cards are kind of stock and standard that you'd run in the regular Unchained build. Oh, also, I almost forgot to mention, the name of this deck, it says Destroy. So, just because we can doesn't mean we should, but we're going to. So, let's get further on into the extra deck. So one of the other cards we have is we have the IP. I think this card's going to be really important as well. If we can't go into our Unchained side of things, we're still at least going to be able to set up Sunlight Wolf and IP. And now that we have Sunlight Wolf, we are able to grab a Fire from Graveyard and add it back to our hand. We can now add Sharvara through Sunlight Wolf. We have Hita to be able to link climb a little bit. We also have Dark to link climb as well. And we have our access code talker. I know we mentioned that in the past video. I think having access code in this deck is actually kind of important. So I think we need to go ahead and try to run it. And then we have the Underworld Goddess of the Close Roller, as I like to call it, White Woman Jump Scare. We have this card in the deck because we can go IP and then start linking off our stuff if we go wide and we somehow run out of interaction. we're going to be able to use this card, or use IP to link into this card whenever our opponent is just about out of gas. So, and also it negates a lot of face-up effects and can negate a Monster Reborn effect. Now, as for the XYZs, we have one Typhon. I think is really good, just really important, because also it is a Fiend, good to know, because if we get Fiend locked by one way, shape, or form through the Unchained engine, we're able to use Typhon to keep ourselves somewhat afloat if they have a big board, and we're able to bounce a card that we need to. Garunix to use this during your opponent's turn and blow up the board. So this also procs a lot of the Unchained, a lot of the Fire King stuff. So you don't mind whenever you blow up your own Unchained stuff, because if you have a Yama engrave, or if you have a bunch of other stuff that goes off, this is going to be really good to have. We have our one-up Machinex to go into the one of the other 2-card combos that is popular in the Unchained build, which is one of the traps, one of the contracts. So you're able to kind of go Requiem effect, bring out Machinex, so on and so forth, and then just kind of be able to pop stuff. And you can also use this to pop and proc some of your other Fire King stuff if need be. And then, of course, the notorious DDD Wave High King Caesar. Your special summon monster negate, your card that can beat up on Nib. It's just a really good card to have. This is the profile of the deck that I have right now for this list. I haven't been tweaking with it a whole lot. I've been kind of tweaking with some Rescue Ace and a couple other decks, but getting this stuff put back together is kind of cool to see. And actually, we're gonna do a couple things. We're gonna kind of do a couple combos, updated really from the last video. If you haven't seen the last video, go check that out. There's a couple other combos that I might miss and that you might need to know for if you want to play this deck. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some of the other combos. Alright, so let's get into some of the combos. A lot of this deck is going to be kind of interwoven with each other. There's a lot of big card combos, but again, you open up with a big hand. You're going to be able to open up at least one or two of these pieces. And again, you have the opportunity of opening up just the Fire King engine as well as just the Unchained engine. But this is one of like the 3-card things that I've looked at, and you can probably do some pretty wild stuff with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and check it out. We're going to go ahead and activate our Dark Contract and be able to search a Requiem, and we're going to be able to grab that, specifically our Vice King, and we're going to go ahead and scale the Vice King and declare his effect to pop our contract and special him and move. Now while he's on the field, we're not able to special summon any other things besides DDD monsters, so we'll go ahead and go into our Machinex here. And he doesn't have an on-summon effect, but where we have Vice King set up, we now have a way to pop a card. So what we're going to do now that we have Arua, we're going to normal summon our Arua, and then declare the effect to pop a card on field and shuffle back a contract. We will put the contract back, gain 1,000, and pop our Arua. And then from here, we're going to go Chain Link 1, Arua, Chain Link 2, our Ponix. Where something was popped that was originally fire, we can special them from hand. So we'll special out our Ponix here, and then we will special a Sharvara here. So at this point, we're going to be able to either link off. We actually have a new chain here, so we have Ponix to add. So we're going to go ahead and add our Sanctuary to hand. And while we're here, activate our Sanctuary, and Sanctuary will let us activate our island. So a lot of things going on there, but this is what we're going to do. So at this point, what we can do is we could either use Fire King Island to pop our Ponix, and then grab Garunix, then Garunix to special. Again, we're not, but before we do anything where we are currently Fiend locked where Sharvara is on field, we have to link it off. So what we're going to do is we're going to link off our Sharvara and our Yama, or Sharvara and Requiem, or Vice King Requiem. Oh, Mach X, lordy, jeez, I'm losing it. Yama, and then we're going to be able to go Yama Chainlink 1, Sharvara Chainlink 2. And Sharvara is going to allow us to set a trap, and then Yama is going to allow us to add one. So at this point, we're going to go set our escape, and then we're going to add back our Sharvara. So at this point, we have a couple different options once again. We're going to go ahead and use the effect of our Fire King Island to pop our Ponix and add back a monster. Or add a monster from our deck to our hand. So we're going to pop our Ponix, and then we're going to add our Garunix to hand. And then Garunix will trigger to special himself. We will special Garunix, and then Garunix will trigger as well. At this point, you could do a couple different things. You could either pop an Arvada to bring back Ponix and then immediately link away with it, if you so choose. You can go Barong, so you can set up an XYZ play during your opponent's turn. Or you could just go Kieran, pop a card, special, do this kind of thing. You can use Kieran as an extender at this point because you can pop your trap. So, but now that we have Sharvara in hand, we kind of want to keep that for later. We kind of want to keep that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and pop ourselves let's go ahead and pop ourselves an Arvada, so we have something to link off into, so we can go ahead and so we can have the best of both worlds, I suppose. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop our Arvada, and then Arvada will trigger to bring back Ponix, because again, we are not Fiend locked at this point. And then there will be no triggers at this point, so we can go ahead and link off, because again, Soul of Rage only requires two monsters, including an Unchained Soul monster, which would be Yama. So we can link off our Ponix and our Yama here to go into our Soul of Rage. And looking kind of familiar for Unchained board. And just to make sure, again, Yama does not lock you into anything as of right now either. Arua was normal summoned, so you're not locked. Vice King Requiem only locks you while he's face up on the field. Same thing with Sharvara. So at this point, we are going to be able to use Sharvara effect in hand to pop our set trap, and then special out Sharvara, and then escape will trigger to bring out a Shyama. There he is. Then at this point, we can overlay the two, and then go into our Fire King. So we don't have the set trap as we usually would with the old Unchained board, but again, this is what you can do. You can also link off a couple other things there to do a couple different things. Instead of doing Ponix and doing that, you could just link off Garunix and Yama and go into your Soul of Rage and leave Ponix in the graveyard, and then pop a Barong off Garunix. So then you have Kieran in hand, and you're able to set up for your next turn. If you have another fire monster in hand, you're able to continue on and just keep doing things. So this is one of the other boards that you can end on. But again, there's a couple other boards that you can make. It's kind of convoluted in a way, but this is still a really fun thing to play around if you're just trying to wing it and try to play the game a little bit. But guys, I think it's going to be doing it for this video. I'm open to new ideas. This is kind of an oddball deck that I've been playing around with. There's some people floating around on DB playing this deck with their own version of it. I'm not too familiar. Maybe if you are out there and you see this video, please send me the list. I'm very intrigued and very interested on what other lists could be out there for this specific deck. I know this deck is It's not perfect by any means, and you have to be very careful with how you place your moves, or you're going to lock yourself in one way, shape, or form. But guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for sticking around. We're almost to 100 subs. I plan on doing something special for you guys at 100. I really plan on doing some sort of giveaway if I can. So if you're a fan of the channel, tell your friends, tell your people, let them know about TriCard Games. And when we hit 100, I'll be doing something special for you guys. Hopefully, maybe a box of Maze of Millennia, maybe something. I'll have to figure it out, but we won't know until we get there. So, thank you guys for sticking around. My name's Tom with TriCard Games. We'll see you next time.